Okay guys, I'm going to go over the study guide. And just to let you know, the test is going to look just like this in that it's going to have your formulas at the top. Okay? All you need to know is which formula is for what shape. Obviously these two are for circles because they have pi. And then this one right here is for either rectangles, squares, or parallelograms. And then this one is for triangles. Okay? So, you don't have to memorize the formulas, you just need to know which one goes with which. Alright, so remember on your test to show your work. Okay, just like I'm fixing to do for each one of these, you need to show your work. So, first thing is perimeter. Perimeter means all the way around the outside. So I'm going to take all three sides, add those together. Y'all, this is what I mean by show work. Okay, now you can show it over to the side if you want, but I want to see what numbers you're adding together. Then when you add those together, you can do that in the calculator or maybe in your head. That should give you 60. So 60 feet is my perimeter. For the area, now, because this is a triangle, I will use the triangle formula. We need the base and we need the height. The base is what the triangle is sitting on. That is usually the bottom. So 24 is my base. And then my height goes from top straight down, which would be this one right here. So I'm going to use the formula 1/2. In place of B, I'm putting 24. And in place of H, I'm putting 10. Okay, this is showing me your work. I need to know what numbers you're using. Then you can type that in the calculator and figure out your area, but that should be 120 feet squared. Okay, for number 2, we've got as a parallelogram, right? A parallelogram. And on a parallelogram, if this side is 8, so is this one. If this side is 13, so is the top. So for my perimeter, let's add up all of the outsides. Outsides only. Do not include 6. Okay? When I add all those up, that gives me 42 for my perimeter. Now for my area, I need to know that I need to use this formula. Okay, that is for parallelograms. Base times height. 13 would be my base. And then my height would be 6. So 13 times 6, and that should give you 78 centimeters squared for the area. Okay, for number 3, again, we have another parallelogram. This one's just turned kind of funny. Okay, if they give you a dotted line, that is probably your height. So turn it and visualize it like this. We know the bottom's 20, so is the top. And if this side is 11, so is this side. And also, this would be my base. And 8 would be my height. So, formulas, let's see, perimeter. Let's add all those up. On the outside, do not include the 8. And that should give you 62 inches. And for my area, I'm doing base times height. So 20 times 8. And that would be 160 inches squared. Okay, for number 4, now something that I noticed a lot of kids doing is they thought that the triangle was, this was part of the triangle. Dotted lines are not part of your triangle, okay? So this is your triangle. For the perimeter, I need to add up these 3 sides. 9 plus 14 plus 10, and that is 33 for my perimeter. Now, this was given for the area part. The area formula needs base, which would be 10, and then height, which in this case would be 7.5. So I'm going to type in the calculator 1/2 times a base of 10 times a height of 7.5. And that should give you an area of 37.5 centimeters squared. Okay, again, this is what I mean by show work. If you don't have this on your test, but you have the right answer, you'll only get half the points. Okay? All right, number 5, perimeter. We're going to add up the outsides. 5 plus 7 plus 9 is 21. That would be inches. For my area, I'm going to again use the same triangle formula. My base would be 9. And my height would be the dotted line of 3. And that should give you, if you type that in, that should give you 13.5 for your area, inches squared. All right, last one on the front page here, we've got us a rectangle. If this is 10, so is this. The bottom would be 34. Add all those up. And that should give you a perimeter of 88 feet. And then the last thing is your area. You can either do length times width or base times height. Base times height is the one that I'm giving you on the page, but they give you the same answer. 34 times 10 is what you're going to do. Show that work, and that should give you 340 feet squared for your area. All right. On this page, some of the shapes are turned kind of funky, but we practiced this. So perimeter, again, that is all the way around the outside. 4 plus 5 plus 7 is a perimeter of 16 meters. Now for my area, first of all, my formula is 1/2 base times height. This time, we cannot use 4 as my base because we don't have a height. The height would be from top straight down. This segment right here is not straight down, so it is not the height. Again, always look for your dotted line. That is your height. So they intended on you looking at this as the base here, and this is my height. So I'm going to use 7 for my base and 3 for my height. Now I'm going to go back to the formula and plug that in. 1/2 times a base of 7 and a height of 3. And that gives me an area of 10.5 meters squared. All right, number 8, we got us a square. Now remember, if you have these tick marks, that means they're all the same. So if this one's 7, they're all 7. So for my perimeter, add up all of your 7s, and that would be 28. And then your area, base times height, 7 times 7 would be 49 centimeters squared. Okay, for number 9, I am looking at, what kind of shape am I looking at? Boy, if you turn it so that the dotted line is up and down, now it looks like a parallelogram, where this is my base and this is my height. And this side would be 7 because it's the same as that one, and this side would be 8 because it's the same as the bottom. So I'm going to add up 7, 7, 8, and 8, just my outsides, and that gives me 30. And then now for my area formula, if you look back on the front, or just know, it's base times height, and we said the base was 8 and the height was 4. 8 times 4, and that would be 32. Okay, number 10, I'm going to add up the outsides. 12 plus 14 plus 8.5. And that gives me a perimeter of 34.5 centimeters. Now again, for your area, my formula, I need the base and I need the height. Now obviously the dotted line is the height. So this triangle needs to be visualized upside down. That would make this my base here, and this would be my height. 1/2 times 14 times 7, and that would be 49 centimeters squared. All right, number 11. Here we go. Perimeter. That's just adding up the sides. 3 plus 3.5 plus 4.6 gives me a perimeter of 11.1 feet. Now, for this one, we need a base and we need a height for our area. Now, if I turn it this way, which is what a lot of people want to do, then the height would be from the top straight down right here. Well, I don't know how long that is, and I cannot measure it because obviously this isn't really 3 feet. If I measure this, I'm not going to get the right thing. So I need to figure out how to turn my triangle until I have a base and a height. Boom. Now I have a base and I have a height, because remember, height is from top straight down. So I could use this as my base and this as my height right there. Okay? I could also use this one as my base and this one as my height. Either one's going to give you the same answer. Okay, so back to my formula. 1/2, I said 3 is the base and 3.5 is the height. let's see what that gives me. 1/2 times 3 times 3.5. That is an area of only 5.25 feet squared. All right, and the last one on this page, we have 32 would be here and 54 here. Let's add all that up. Again, I'm showing my work. And that gives me a perimeter of 172 feet. For my area, it's just base times height or length times width. Either way, 32 times 54. Showing my work there, and I get 1,728 feet squared. All right, last page here, we've got our circles. So you can go back to the front page and look up your formulas right here. Obviously, these are circles because they have pi. I'm going to write them down at the top of this so that I can look at it. Area is pi r squared. We need the radius. Circumference is pi times d. We need the diameter. Okay, so for each one of these, I'm going to write down what I'm going to type in the calculator to show my work, and then I'm going to type it in the calculator, and I'm also going to round to 2 decimal places. You must round carefully. Okay, circumference, pi times diameter. 11 would be my diameter, so I'm going to type in pi times 11. All right, and here's what I get. So if I round to 2 decimal places, I'm looking at the second one, that is a 5. It should either stay or go up. Based on a 7, this should go up. What does it go up to? It goes up to a 6. The rest of these stay the same. So it would be 34.56 centimeters. Okay, for my area, I'm using this formula. I need the radius. Now 11 is not my radius. 11 is my diameter. Radius would just be half of it. So I need to take 11 and half it, or divide it by 2. And that gives me a radius of 5.5. Okay, so this section here is 5.5. Now I'm going to go to my formula and put 5.5 right there. So pi times 5.5 squared. Do not forget to square it. Pi r squared. Okay, here's what I got. So if I'm rounding to the second decimal place, this 3 should stay a 3 because we have a 3 beside it. So it's going to be 95.03 for my area. Okay, number 14, circumference first. Pi diameter. Now this would be not my diameter, this would be my radius. So to get all the way across, we need to do 16 plus 16, and that would be a diameter of 32. So I'm going to do pi times diameter, which is 32. For my circumference, we get right here. So when I look at the 3, I know it should stay a 3 because that's a 0. So that would be 100.53 centimeters. Okay, for area, we're using this formula, pi r squared. This is my radius, so 16 is what I'm putting there. Pi times 16 squared. And here we go. So I'm looking at the 4. It should go up because we have a 7 beside it. This goes up to a 5. The rest of those stay the same. That would be 804.25 centimeters squared. Okay, and I'm still looking at the formulas on the top of my page. For circumference, it is pi times diameter, and this would be my diameter because it's all the way across. So pi times 25. And here's what I got. So the question is, what should the 3 do? It should go up, right? Because that's a 9. This goes up to a 4. The rest of these stay the same. That would be 78.54. Now for my area, I need the radius. I do not have the radius. We need half of it, right? Half of it would be my radius. So we need to half or divide the diameter by 2. that would tell me my radius is 12.5. So now I'm going to go to my formula, which is at the top of the page for area, and I'm putting 12.5 right here. Pi times 12.5 squared. Pi times 12.5 squared. And that's what I'm getting. 2 decimal places is the 7. The 7 should, because of the 3, the 7 should stay a 7. They all stay. 490.87 centimeters squared. All right, we're almost done here. Number 16, we have, again, is this the diameter or is this the radius? All the way across is my diameter. So pi times diameter, which is 20, gives me this. And my 3 needs to remain a 3 because we have a 1 beside it. So 3, 62.83 inches. For my area, I need the radius again, just like this last problem. If they gave me the diameter, I need just this amount for the area formula. So take 20 and half it, which is 10. So 10 is my radius. Now I'm going to go to the area formula again, and I'm putting 10 right here. Pi times 10 squared. Okay, here's what I got. Now, all right, so the 5. Should the 5 stay the same or go up? Because we have a 9, this should go up. It goes up just one number to a 6. The rest of these stay the same, so it would be 314.16. Okay, last one here. This time we have been given the radius. So, for the circumference formula, I need the diameter. Diameter would be all the way. So 30 plus another 30 would be a diameter, a full diameter of 60. So I know my diameter is 60, my radius is 30. For my circumference, I need the diameter. So I'm going to do pi times 60. And that gives me this. Okay, here we go. This is a good one. So, should the 9 stay or go up? The 5, a 5 or more means you raise the score. When you raise this, you put a 0 here and you carry the 1 because a 9 turns into a 10. Well, you have to put a 0, 1, that's your 10. Then you add your 1 to the 4, which makes that a 5. Nothing else changes. It's 188.50. Technically, you don't need the 0. I don't care if you put it on there. Okay? All right, now back to the area. This one we're going to use our 30. Pi times 30 squared. Here's what we get. It's a big one. And my 3 should stay a 3, so it should be 2,827, sorry, 0.43 centimeters squared. All right, last one, and this one's just like number 17. This is my radius. If I need to know my diameter, that would be all the way across. So 8 plus 8 would be a diameter of 16. Now in my formula for circumference, it is pi times diameter, which is 16. Okay, we got a 6 that needs to go up because of this one. So 6 goes up to a 7. The rest of these stay the same. It would be 50.27 feet. All right, and last one, area, that is pi radius squared. The radius is 8. So pi times 8 squared. And again, the 6 this time has a 1 beside it, so the 6 should stay, and the area is 201.06 feet squared. And that is all. Okay, So virtual students, especially, if you had trouble with this, if there's something you don't get, if you can't figure out how to type it in the calculator, if you don't know what you're doing, please email me, send me a message so that we can maybe set up a video conference sometime before you take your test on Thursday.